welcome on into Bengals Breakdown. Once again, I am your host, Stone Shields. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Monday at Bengals Breakdown. Got an exciting show planned out for you guys today. We got to update you on the Sam Hubbard injury. Suffered a bit of a knee issue on Sunday's practice, but he avoided disaster and he should be all right. So we'll dive into that. Erick All made his debut for Cincinnati over the weekend as well. All, of course, coming off major ACL injury that he suffered in college that kind of shut his season down prematurely. So a bit of a surprise to see All out there on the practice field for Cincinnati. And through 4 days of Bengals training camp, 5, I'm sure once this video comes out, the Bengals starting 2:15 today, so we'll have this video out a little bit after that. But I assume that Jamar Chase will not be practicing again, as he has not practiced yet to this point for the Cincinnati Bengals. But before we dive into our show, I want to remind you guys that we are in a July-like battle with our Cleveland Browns channel. As you can tell, we're a little bit behind here, and we only got a couple of days left to go. So help us out. Hit that thumbs up icon. Show some love. Like the video, and hopefully we can catch the Browns in a couple of days by the end of the month, or if not, make it a little bit of a closer battle. So help us out. Hit that like button right now. All right, so Bengals pass rusher edge guy Sam Hubbard left Sunday's practice on a cart after suffering a knee injury. Of course, Sam Hubbard, has been dealing with an ankle issue, rehabbing it throughout the, off season for Cincinnati, and he really did a great job of playing through it last year. Missed a couple games, of course, but that injury was really, really brutal for him, and he really toughed it out for Cincinnati and gave it his best. So we wanted to see him get through training camp fully healthy, but he suffers a bit of a setback yesterday on Sunday, suffering this knee injury. Let's take a look at what Kelsey Conway of the Inquirer, doing great work covering the Cincinnati Bengals, had to say on this situation. She said, Hubbard limped off the field on his own before leaving the practice fields with a member of the Bengals training staff. Hubbard, 29, was lined up on the left side and collided with tight end Mike Gesicki as he was trying to get to quarterback Joe Burrow. He then immediately took himself out of the drill. Obviously, Sam Hubbard is a really, really important piece to the Cincinnati Bengals defense and really the Cincinnati Bengals team, right? He's an Ohio guy, been here his whole career, and has really carved out a solid career as a Cincinnati Bengal. And the Bengals really look to him to be one of those leaders for them defensively, despite the fact he's getting a little bit up there in age, 29 years old, probably has several good years left. But you really hope that he can stay healthy. And obviously that was an issue yesterday at practice for Cincinnati. But like Kelsey Conway said, it doesn't appear to be too severe, and he should be out there in no time once again. Here's her tweet that she put out. She said, Bengals defensive end Sam Hubbard left Sunday's practice on the cart due to a knee injury that he suffered after further evaluation. Isn't believed to be serious, a source tells me. So that's good news, obviously, for Cincinnati. We'll see when Hubbard is back out there on the practice field. I'm sure they're going to take it slow, right? Make sure he is fully good to go before he is out there. But the Bengals kind of escape a disaster here with Sam Hubbard, and it looks like he's going to be just fine. But I want to know what you guys think right now down in the comments section. Scale it 1 to 10 for me. How concerned are you? What is your concern level with Sam Hubbard's injury? I think for a guy like Hubbard that's been in the league so long, he's going to be able to be all right with missing some time during training camp if it comes to that for Cincinnati. Again, he could be out there today. We really don't know. But scale it for us in the comments section at this point, 1 to 10. Let us know what you think at the pin comment of today's show. All right, so Erick All made his debut for Cincinnati. He was cleared for practice and participated in individual and position group drills yesterday for Cincinnati. Didn't do any of the team 11-on-11 stuff, probably easing his way into that, but he was out there. And that obviously is a great sign for Cincinnati. All, of course, they drafted in the 4th round of the 2024 NFL draft. He's a local guy, went to Fairfield High School. The Bengals have a lot of hopes for him that he can make an impact for them in 2024. And I was a bit surprised that he got cleared this early, but certainly good news for Erick All. Here's what he had to say when he was talking to the media. He said, I've been ready to go, but I wasn't expecting it at all. I was thinking I would get cleared later down the line, like a month from now or something. But that was just because I'm right at 9 months, and 9 months is usually for a normal ACL, but I did ACL plus other stuff too, so I wasn't expecting it, but I'm happy and I'm excited. Look, I was very surprised to hear this when this news broke. It was my way of thinking that Erick All perhaps might not practice at all for Cincinnati during training camp, but he gets out there earlier than expected. And we'll see how he looks as he, kind of ramps up and tries to get back to speed. But my biggest takeaway from this is now there really is, competition at that tight end position, and it really heats up when you talk about Erick All coming back and into the fold for Cincinnati. Of course, the Bengals have Gesicki as their tight end 1 and Sample off that, 3-year deal probably as their tight end 2. But you start to look at that 3 spot, you got 2 draft picks, Erick All and Tanner McLaughlin, who, of course, are going to get evaluated here, and Tanner Hudson as well. And you don't know exactly how many tight ends Cincinnati is going to take on their 53-man roster. But now this becomes one of the positions that I'm going to be monitoring the closest because I think there really is a ton of competition for that tight end 3 spot. And I honestly don't know who you would give the advantage to at this point. And this is what Dan Pitcher, Bengals offensive coordinator, had to say about Erick All in terms of around the draft. Here's kind of his evaluation on him. He said, for a big guy, he's 6'4" and change, 250 pounds. He can move and separate and change directions. He's got a big catch radius. He attacks the football aggressively. He's tough to tackle. Really, you throw in his target tape from this year, and there's a lot to get excited about. I think he can bring that to us early in his career. Once again, your chance to get interactive with us here in the comment section. Will Erick All be active for week 1? I think at this point, all signs point to him probably making the roster. Of course, assuming he doesn't suffer any setbacks throughout training camp. But let us know what you think down in the comment section. Will Erick All be active for week 1 against the Patriots at Paycor Stadium? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Okay, so Ja'Marr Chase is still out through all the practices with Cincinnati. He has not participated once yet, and it certainly feels like a hold-in situation, which we'll get to more in a sec. But I do want to say about Ja'Marr, I think it's important to note that the Bengals, brought in another receiver that they signed, of course, in free agency. So that kind of tells me that they're expecting that, this hold-in to kind of last for a little bit longer than probably the team hoped. And, Ja'Marr Chase, certainly one of their best players on the team, so hopefully that gets figured out. We're going to dive into that more in a second. But first, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Game Time because today's show is presented by Game Time. And I love the summer because Major League Baseball is in full swing, and I love making the walk down the street here in Cincinnati to a Reds game every chance that I get. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB or NFL tickets. And with the NFL season just over a month away, you can get tickets to watch the Bengals at Paycor Stadium. And Game Time doesn't just have sporting events either. They also have concerts, comedy, theater, and more. You name it, they got it. They have tickets for you. And Game Time has so many features that I really appreciate in a ticketing app. I really love the zone deals, right? And more than anything, I love that panoramic view of your seat that you get on the Game Time app, right? So it allows you to understand where you're going to be sitting so you don't get blocked out by, a foul pole or another obstruction in your way. You know that before you purchase the ticket with Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Check out gametime.co for last-minute tickets. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay, look, this is clearly a hold-in situation for Ja'Marr Chase. Zach Taylor's kind of tried to dance around it, but at this point, he hasn't practiced once yet. And again, when this video comes out, the Bengals practice will have already started. So for some reason, if Chase is out there, we certainly will have a short up for you guys. But right now, it's clearly a hold-in situation, and it doesn't seem like Ja'Marr Chase has any intentions of getting out there on the practice field before, perhaps an extension takes place. So we'll see how long this lasts. But bringing in another wide receiver is noteworthy, right? They want someone else to help get those reps that Ja'Marr Chase is kind of giving up at this point. And I think that's why you saw them bring in the guys that they did, the other day, right? As far as, the reigning UFL player of the year. And, bringing him in a situation where he can go out and potentially compete for a roster spot for Cincinnati. Here's what Zach Taylor had to say on Ja'Marr Chase, kind of bringing this quote back. Okay, this is something that he said a little bit while ago. This is at the beginning of training camp that he brought this up. And he said, we've got a bunch of guys, like I told you guys yesterday, that we've got a plan for early in camp. T being that guy today, also with Trey Hendrickson. Tomorrow, Joe Burrow won't throw. That was pre-planned. There's a lot of guys that they and I are on the same page with how we handle these things. And, of course, he said that before day one of Bengals training camp, and it doesn't seem like there really is any plan for Ja'Marr Chase. And, of course, that receiver that they brought in, that is Hakeem Butler, who I was just referencing. But as you can tell, Ja'Marr Chase really has a massive role on this team, and he's going to be out there at some point. I think everybody understands that the Cincinnati Bengals are not the Cincinnati Bengals without Ja'Marr Chase. So it'll be interesting to see how this gets worked out. We will have a close eye on it for you guys and always keep you in the loop if he, for some reason, is out there practicing today or whatever the case may be. We will let you guys know. Another guy that I want to talk about really quickly before we get out of here, Trey Hendrickson. Okay, he was a guy that practiced the first day of training camp for Cincinnati, but he has not been out there ever since. Of course, you remember Trey Hendrickson requested a trade during the offseason, so he, of course, is unhappy with his contract situation as well, and he could be in a position where, you're not going to see him practice for a little bit. But it is interesting that he was out there that first day, so it's kind of hard to, understand exactly what's going on with Trey Hendrickson. It was reported as just a veteran day off, but now you're in a situation where you haven't seen him for a few days in a row. We will let you guys know if he is out there at practice today. But make sure you guys are subscribed to our channel here at Bengals Breakdown for all the latest Bengals training camp news, rumors, reports, you name it. We got it here at Bengals Breakdown. So make sure you hit that sub button. That's youtube.com/BengalsTV.